First of all, I would like to know what were the reasons for you to found the Network Migration Hub network?
Yes. Well, basically, it's really interesting because I didn't come to Germany thinking that I was going to become an entrepreneur or a social entrepreneur on top of that. But I think it was the need, and I think it was not my need necessarily, it was the need that I was seeing. The more I was speaking to the migrants, the more that I was speaking to the ones who back then were applying for asylum, basically in 2015, most of them coming from Syria. So the more I was talking to them and the more I was talking with the organizations or, let's say, projects who were trying to focus their help to support them, the more I saw the need on building something that brings them together, because they were not. And interestingly, until today, I've seen that the network is what it's missing. Actually, very recently, I saw that the United Nations, in their call to Global Compact, their solution after meetings in 2 years, it was to build a network. So I guess, I'm not saying that is the response to the whole thing, but it's basically if you start understanding the needs and talking, that was the obvious thing to do, and that's what happened to me back then.
You talked during the panel discussion about your experience as a migrant. How do you think is it possible to work against the gap between German citizens and refugees or migrants?
Well, I mean, how it is possible? It is possible to show examples that is possible. It is important to show to migrants as well that it's also possible. Because, I mean, perhaps you saw it in the panel. I mean, there were this woman who raised her hand saying, it happens to me. And that's exactly how it can be done. First of all, you have to show to the local population that migrants are not here just living by the state, which is the general thinking, that migrants are consuming local money and taking jobs. So let's show them how much migrants have given back to the society, and let's also show migrants that it's possible, because from their side, sometimes there's a lot of depression feeling that is so hard that it takes a while, and let's not try to show only the bad experiences, but the good experiences and how to make it, basically.
Yeah, that's... we come to the last question. What is your experience from the panel discussion?
I saw a lot of students having a lot of questions regarding which I think that's great that the panel triggered that. I saw many, because it's a very international audience, I saw people trying to find a way, what's the best way to make a living in Germany. And I guess that sentiment is something that we cannot forget, that there's so many young people right now out there studying here, trying to find an opportunity, or because they have seen it all, being worried about the future. And I'm not talking about only the foreigners or migrants, but also the locals. So there's a lot of questions to be answered. There's a lot of misunderstandings of who gets the help, who doesn't get who deserves the help or who doesn't. Because you also saw that there were always this need to distinguish refugees and migrants and refugees and migrants. I would say we shouldn't, right? Because at the end of the day, as one of the panelists was saying, we're all humans, right? We should not be distinguishing. Of course, there are some humans that unfortunately had to leave. And actually, what we should be doing as humans is to protect those who are in a vulnerable situation. So what I saw there is that there's a lot of questions still on who receives the help, who needs the help, and who deserves the help, and a lot of young people finding what's the best way to make it, locals or foreigners.